What's the deal, my people? You know it is the Don, Tony, Teflon. That's your boy right here. And I am back at you with another from season 4 video. About to go down once again in this piece. About to hang out with you and talk a little bit. Talk a little something. Am I supposed to go over? I think I probably should. There we go. That's as good as it needs to be. What's up with everybody? Saturday night. We are like 2 weeks away from the premiere of From season 4, and I am very anxious about this whole situation. And I hope that you are too. I hope that you feel the way that Don does. That y'all understand that it's about to go down. And listen, this could be the final hurrah when it's all said and done, like the final, say 20 weeks of this show, if they're only doing season 5. So we got to savor every moment that we get of this piece. You know what I mean? We got to be about that. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about it tonight. But before we do, let me say what up to the people here that are joining the Don early right now. We got 3 commas up in the building, rocking with the Don, Tony with Teflon. Music Fancy is up in this piece. Mikey P is in the building, rocking with us right there. Nene is in here. TNX is rocking with us, as always, rocking with us. NYC, is that one Jill? NYC is up in the building, rocking with us. Fatima is in the building, rocking with us right now. A new member rocking with us right now of RJ is up in the building. New member, thank you so much, new member. We appreciate you. Quentin is up in this piece, rocking with us right now. The real rebel Eric is up in here, rocking with us. She does the most, is back at it, rocking with us. Appreciate you all. Appreciate everybody coming in here, rocking with the Don, Tony, Teflon. Drink is in here. So, I'm feeling much better. I was sick for a little while, but I'm feeling much better right now and everything else. Kai's up in the building, rocking with us, listening from the UK at 1 a.m. Big fight in the UK. Mozatama just fought. Watch that. And big fight tonight. So that's why I'll be off, before that fight happens and everything else. So what up, Marty? What's going on with you? I appreciate you staying at 1 a.m. rocking with us all the way from the UK and everything. Yeah, listen, I come on here a lot. Obviously, it's my channel, so I have to. And I always ask y'all, y'all hear me or my theories and everything else. I don't want to do that this time. I want to hear from y'all. I want to know what theories y'all want me to talk about. You know what I mean? If you would let me know, that is what it is. Listening from UK, it's 1 a.m., man. Night shift, man. I'll get you through it. I'm going to get you through this out. Don't worry. We're going to get this. We're going to get this and everything. Bro, we love you. We riding with you. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? But I want to hear from y'all. What would you like for me to talk about? If you have any theories or anything you want me to discuss, I'm here to discuss them all for you. But we don't have to just go on what I think it is. You know what I mean? And we got another person. We got a bunch of people rocking from the UK. I'm gonna do an earlier live stream, like something in the afternoon for all my UK people. So y'all ain't gotta be up in here at night like this all the time. I promise you, I'm gonna do something for y'all. Do an early stream for you. I promise. I got you. You know what I mean? Got my people from across the pond. What would y'all like to talk about? I'm gonna set something up real quick that I probably should have already set up. I'm gonna figure out how I get to my actual files and everything else. It's Rose. This is Rose. Just had to set up a new. Oh, all right. What's going on, Rose? Thank you so much for doing that. Appreciate you. Let's see if I can get to one of my folders here. Let's see if we can get to this without everything going crazy. I got a lot of windows up, and I probably need to shut down some stuff. Let me shut some stuff down. Let me shut that down. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need none of them open right now. Let me see if I can get something popping here. Now, how do I find where my folders at? I like the old school way and stuff. You could just go in there. File Explorer. Open that up. I want to go through something with y'all, but I don't want this just to be on me, on my stuff. You know what I mean? But we gonna talk about. Let me get this thing queued up. I'm sorry, real quick. Sorry, I can't see y'all right now. I gotta trying to queue something up here, so that way I can play it later. All right. We're gonna play that in a second. Debbie Abio Babby says, "Okay, what do you know? What do you think about the carved totems at the settlement? Do you agree that Jade fed them by knocking over the holy scared shit bastard Dale?" I would say that without a doubt, it seems that when they pulled up that rod in order to save Christy, that possibly could have done something to unleash these scarecrow creatures. Now, again, we know there were going to be scarecrows in there because Ethan said it. Ethan said that there are scarecrows. He said that there's giant spiders. He said that there were the monsters. And we have seen everything that Ethan has said now with the scarecrows, except for the giant spiders. Now, that's the last thing that we haven't seen and everything. What's going on, Pixie Vine TV? What's going on to you? That is the last thing that we have not seen yet. You know what I mean? So we need to see the giant spiders before this is all said and done. Now, when you start getting into this giant spider stuff, that's when you start to lose me. Like I don't want to see no damn giant spiders. Like I just don't know how the giant spiders fit in this whole shit. Like I don't see any need for the giant spiders. Like I just don't know. Are you just doing it because you're looking for another creature to fight or something else like that? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's incognito say, "Hey, Tone, this time I am talking to you." What do you mean this time? What do you mean? You talking to me about what? What do you mean? So I just don't know how the giant spiders fit in this whole situation. It's just weird to me. Even with these scarecrows, you know what I mean? I understand that you got to do stuff, and they brought all these things up in season 1, so we definitely seeing them. But I just don't know how they fit in the storyline myself at all. I just don't see it. Tony, do you think Toby will ever get a flashback? Like, I know that I did the video about who the person with the blue face was, and I told you that I believe that it's Brick. I know that Julie B and other YouTubers and people are saying that it's Toby. I know that the showrunner said they're not done with Toby, and Toby's gonna have something coming up. I just don't see it. The hair, it just doesn't work. I mean, if that hair wasn't there, and I think that what happened was when the initial clip came out in the trailer, you couldn't see any hair. There was no hair to be shown, so you're just going by the face, and by the face, I can understand it. But when you zoom back and then they actually show you the hair, and then you see the hair, listen, I may have went too far saying it's Brick. It easily could just be Jim with the way the hair is looking. It looks more like Brick's hair to me, but it could easily be Jim. It's that style of hair. And if you want to say it makes sense, for Jade to see someone he knows, then it would make sense for him to see Jim down there. So it's quite possible that it's Jim. If I had to pick, I'd pick Jim or Brick over anybody. I'm going to stick with my person, Brick, right there. But if it's going to be Jade, and we're assuming that Jade is the one that's seeing, we don't know. And then we're assuming that it's a real thing. It could just be a vision. Again, visions. What are visions in this place? That's what you have to come to grasp with. Vision is such a broad term of a vision. What truly is a vision? What is it? And I guess that goes on what you believe or what other people believe, but you have to really look at, what a vision truly is and why you think of a vision like that. You know what I mean? I think of visions and dreams in real life, and as glimpses, as like of parallel universes. I really believe that. Now, I'm not saying I do that in this show, but I'm saying I believe that in my life. in my real life, I believe that that's like a glimpse into a parallel universe that you shift, because there's some things that happen in dreams that I can't explain. It's people I've met and I'd never met before. And it's just something going on. So when I look at this whole situation, I look at the showrunners, they seem like people who are very what word am I looking for here? They seem like people that are very into science and into things of quantum mechanics and into things like that. So I just think that that would be why I would think it would be something like that. Lexa Love, do you think Randall made a deal with the monsters? Why? That's why he was released. I don't know if he made a deal. I mean, it makes sense that he made a deal with them, but he's still getting tortured by the creatures. So you would think that if he made a deal, he wouldn't get tortured anymore. Like they'd be down with the whole situation. He wouldn't be getting that. But the fact he's still getting that would make me think that he's not. You know what I mean? It would make me think that he's there's something else going on with him there. I think they let him go because Boyd left him to die. Right. And if you're trying to break Boyd, and that's what they're trying to do, what you have to do is take the people from Boyd. You have to take the people he's protecting away. They always say, like, the way to destroy an empire is to let them kill themselves. And that's what it seems like it would be. You know what I mean? That it would be a situation like that. They have to kill themselves from the inside. And the reason why you kill yourself from the inside, the easy why you do that is to get these people not to trust them. And when you have this dude who can clearly say, Boyd left me to die, Boyd had a decision to make. Jim and Tabitha or Randall. And Boyd chose Jim and Tabitha. And he left Randall there. He was mad about it and everything else. Right after he came back with this whole bullshit with Martin talking about Marine, never leave a man behind, never leave a man behind. But he's the first motherfucker who left somebody behind. Now, again, didn't seem like he wanted to do it and everything else. It's like it forced his hand. He had to make a decision at the time. And he felt that Jim and Tabitha were more precious to the community than Randall was. And most likely, listen, Jim and Tabitha got kids and everything else. I see his rationale behind it, and I understand why he did it. But in the end, it seeds doubt. You have Randall who's going to be able to say that. When the tough got going, Boyd left me behind. So when you build upon that, and then you build upon the Elgin situation, you build on all those things, that's going to make people not believe in Boyd anymore. That's the way I look at it and everything. And that's what's going on in there. The great Terry Matthew is in here. He says, "What's in the bag, Tony?" Terry, we come these questions. And Rio is supposed to join me a little bit later tonight. He should be jumping on. But when you look at the bag, it looked like the dog was skinned, if you want to say that. I don't think there's any meat parts. I'm still gonna say that it's pieces of Jim. What if it's his hands or something? It's something going on there and everything else. But why? If it looked like he skinned the dog, but again, he could be have transformed into the dog, and that's what's left. We don't know. It's hard to tell and everything else. You know what I mean? That's the problem with it. But I would say, if anything, it's going to be pieces of Jim that's inside there. So I'm gonna go with that. That it's something to do with Jim in there. Something that's got to lead them over to the barn to make the discovery. And there's no doubt. Listen, people want to say that the man in yellow is turning into Jim. We have evidence that that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but there is positive evidence that points that that's going to go down in it. Terrence says the dog and Jim are so disconnected, confused. It is. It really don't have anything to do with each other, right? And or anything like that. So I could understand if people want to say that it's some type of, if pieces of the dog are in there and the skin is outside. I think you get the same effect just with the skin outside. I don't think you need to string the dog up. I think if you're stringing something up, and no one knows what the dogs are anyway. Only a couple of people seen the dogs. No one knows. So it would have to be something, if you're going to string it up, that the whole town would be affected by. And I don't think it's going to be a dog that no one else has seen. That's why I believe that it will most likely have to be Jim that's up in that piece and everything else. That's I'm sticking to that. Terrence, I'm over here highlighting only Terrence. I'm going to highlight y'all too. Terrence says the surname Pratt means cunning. Maybe this is cunning folk magic. I have no idea what cunning folk magic is, so I can't get into that. I can't say what that is. So I don't know. I would have to be. You'd have to explain that to me. I know that a lot of y'all want to believe that this is supernatural, and I am not trying to stop you. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's a good chance it is. I understand why you say it. You're not just grasping that and pulling that out of your ass. There's stuff in here, but that can be explained by magic. But I think when you deal with a situation like that, I think you can explain away anything with magic. And that's why I don't like magic, right? Anything that anyone does, you can say magic. And that is the cure-all for everything. It's the reason why I really don't like a lot of time travel unless it's done right, because you can just time travel something and fix anything you want. You know what I mean? So that it just, I don't see it. I see what they're showing is not magic. Trippy, I guess, is saying that story walking isn't magic. No, it's not. Not in my belief. No, not at all. How is it magic? And so, like, explain to me how it's magic. Tell me how it's magic. What is magic of? If you're going to say it's magical to be able to do what? What is she actually doing? What is story walking that she's tell me what she's actually doing in the story walking. Tell me that. And tell me how that's magic. I just explain to me how this is magic. Do you want me to open up the phone lines? You're going to actually call? Because I will, because I need it explained to me exactly how that is magic. Where is the magic in it? When they show you these cabinets opening and closing, opening, closing, and opening, closing, and we're gonna say that's magic. How is that magic? That's not magic to me. To me, the cabinet, I think they're trying to give you the illusion of it. They're trying to give you illusion of a haunting, all right, of something, let's just use the word supernatural phenomenon going on. And that's why all of a sudden the cabinet doors are opening and closing and opening and closing. That's what they want to give you. And that's what they're trying to make you believe. And I just think that the fact that they're trying so hard means that's not what it is. And exactly as everything broke down says, there's a lot of science behind time. When you look at time travel, in all movies and stuff that you see with time travel, it's usually associated with science. In almost every movie that's ever done time travel, it usually has something to do with science. Whether it's Back to the Future, you name them all. The time traveler's wife, go through them all. It usually has something to do with science. And now Trippy says, what about shape-shifting? Isn't that magic? Explain to me how that's magic. If you're just saying that someone's doing a spell and shape-shifting into somebody, that's magic. In Lovecraft Country, right? It was considered magic, right? So I'll go through it to you real quick, right? In Lovecraft Country, they had some, if you ever watched that show, it was like and it was all considered magic in that show. And they had people drink a potion of this person's blood mixed with something else. And by doing so, the one of the characters was able to turn to a white lady, right? So if you want to look at that as magic, that's what they presented it as the show. But then again, when you look at it, you could find some science behind it. That is, this potion has some type of stuff in it that allows you to do it. But they 100% in Lovecraft Country, it is magic. And that whole everything you see in there is magic. You know what I mean? But then I can also look at Fringe and seeing people do shape shifting in that show, and it was all science-based shape shifting. The guy would take the form of somebody else. There was two shape shifters. The first shape shifters, they would take a device and stick it on the roof of their mouth, and then they would transfer them into the other person. And then they got the second form of shapeshifters, the more advanced shapeshifters, that was able to do that without doing that. Right? So in both points, I could see it being done both ways. I've seen it being done with a magical potion, and I've seen it being done with technology. So when I look at both things, I could see it going any which way. It could go both ways, and everything else. They always say that, magic is science that hasn't been figured out yet, right? That's the way it is. And then, all right, so Trippy, one more with you, Trippy, because, one more. What about the rituals? Fatima making Smiley has to be. I didn't see any ritual. What ritual have you shown? I mean, what ritual? Am I missing this in this show? Have I seen anybody standing around some type of monument, holding hands, doing a chant or something? No, you can ask as many questions as you want. I'm just playing with you. I just haven't. That, to me, that's what a ritual is. Like, right? Usually it's like a seance or something. I've seen nothing of that. I've seen nothing of it. And I think that when you know what I mean. And when I see the the tarot cards and everything else, they just throw that in there to try to make you go along those lines, to try to make you believe that. And I think that they're very heavy-handed with it. He's saying, and then once again, Trippy saying sacrificing the kids is a ritual. It all depends what you considered a sacrifice and what it is. It looks like one when it looks like it, but it can very well just be an experiment. The words being used, sacrificing the kids, is the words that Tabitha or Fatima heard from the people who actually did it. Sometimes people say words because at a time period, they don't have a better word for it. Right? And you see that in the Bible. You've seen that if you go through the ancient alien stuff, that they call things flying chariots. They call things chariots in the sky because they didn't have a word for UFO. I've explained, like, and I did this explanation now, and this is fact. This has been fact that's already been proven. There was a war in Africa, right? And they needed to use a certain part of land in order to get their military ships across. So the United States set up a treaty with this country so that they could land their ships there. And what they did to the local people was they gave them food. They gave them a whole bunch of food and everything else because of it. And if you look, you can see the videos of these people seeing these ships fly off. They were just stunned and amazed that they'd never seen anything like it. The war ends. After the war ends, everyone goes away. And then the people who live there made bamboo ships of airplanes, right? And placed them on the runway and started a whole religion and told people that those were their ancestors who was blessing them with foods. And they did whole things around these airplanes, whole big gatherings, and they did it all on the runways. These are people who just didn't know any better, right? Their knowledge wasn't there to know that these are just regular people. But they worshipped it. like it was something else. It could easily be a situation like that to the people. We talk about the pilgrims, right? If you're talking about this happened back when the pilgrims were back there, or before, around that time, and this started, what would they think if they seen technology from the future? If they seen someone just come in out of the sky, they would think that person was a god. They would think that this is what it is. I mean, it's been proven.
We have all sorts of stories, mythologies, legends that could be interpreted as gods, who in reality were misinterpreted extraterrestrials.
And that's what happens sometimes. So I'm telling you, I'm not telling you that that's the way they're going here. I'm just giving you my opinion. It could be some magic stuff. I don't know, but to me, when I look at the line of work that these people have already been previously involved with, it's always been a twist. Cabin in the woods, they're not involved with that, but that seems like a big horror situation and everything else. In the end, it's not that at all. It's dealing with science or anything, right? So I just don't see it. And you know what I mean? And again, if you can explain it to me, I'm here for it. I am here for it. 1 second. Who just messaged me without my permission? I don't know what that is. I can't. So you know what I mean? In the end, that's what it is. We cardinal signs in Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn, and I'm the best. You know what I mean? Cabins in the woods is a good example of fun. Listen, I'm not just saying this stuff to say it. I'm just telling you what it is. And listen, if you do believe it, and I'm not telling you not to believe it, I just think it's a setup. I'm from New York. I know a con artist when I see one. All right. And when I look at the way these dudes are selling this thing to you, to me, it looks like to me that they're selling you a false hope only to pull the wool from underneath you. And that's what it is. And that's the way it goes. He was saying those people were in South Pacific after World War II, not Africa. But I'll highlight the comment there. I appreciate that. But in the end, the story is exactly what I said it to be. Correct, Rose? That's what I'm saying. I may have gotten the wrong people in the continent, but the story is the truth. Demo, it says, I think there's a scientific element somewhere from it was originally listed as sci-fi / horror. Demo, I'm with you. And I've said this, I said this to people, and I'm glad that other people feel this way. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'd rather people not agree with me. Because usually the more people that agree with you, the more wrong you are. I found that the more people that don't agree with you, that's usually when you're right. So I don't want anyone to agree with me at all. I want everyone to keep thinking what they're thinking and just let me be out here on this island. You know what I mean? That's what it is. I wonder if the company Jade sold is going to play a role. 100% it is. There's no reason to bring up his company if it doesn't play a role. And what is the company, the name of the company that moved Harold's stuff that pops up all the time? What is the name of that company? I know y'all in the chat know the name of that company. What's the name of that company that is moving stuff around? The so-called the moving company. What is that? What's the name of that company? I'm just waiting for the name. I am sure that y'all will have it in there. There you go. Thank you for our demo. Resins Move. That company is dirty. There's something going on with that company right there. What remember you're gonna see it in the future that damn Move company has something to do with all this. I'm trying. It's definitely gonna have something going on there with that damn company. I think I know what you mean. Those are signs between the cardinal ones. They are usually called fixed signs, lower Taurus. I don't get it. You're gonna have to get on here and tell me what's going on Pixie Vine TV because I don't understand. Quantum computers are the only known way that humans can create a wormhole. 100%. 100%. And if we go with the wormhole, then we can see how all this stuff works out. How they're able to do everything that we've seen. If there's anything that they have done that I can't explain that is being done in science, then I'm here to tell you that I'm gonna jump on the whole side supernatural thing. But there's nothing that I've seen in this show yet that does not depict science. And then maybe I'm missing something. If I am, please let me know. Let me know the deal. Tell me right now. You can tell me what it is. You know what I mean? That the way something, maybe I missed it. I miss shit. I am the Don, but I do miss shit. You know what I mean? Tell me what I missed. Tell me how this can't be science. Show me. So I didn't see no hocus pocus. I didn't see no witch's brew. I ain't seen nothing of that at all. So we look. Let JT said reincarnation is not science. So let's go through that. Let me explain that to you real quick. So reincarnation is not science. Reincarnation, if it's true reincarnation, if you're saying that someone who died, soul, is going into somebody else's body and being reincarnated that way, that if we're looking at reincarnation like that, then we're saying that it's not science. But if we're looking at somebody's memories being implanted into somebody else so that they remember everything that happened in that person's life, well, then that really would not be true reincarnation, right? And that's what reincarnation is. Like if you put somebody's soul in somebody else's, what you're saying is that that person is able to remember everything that happened in that person's life. And that's why you consider it reincarnation. But if it's memories, and you implant somebody with the memories of that other person, then that really isn't reincarnation. That's just someone remembering somebody else's life. Right? And my new book that I'm coming out with, I actually talk about this whole situation that we just talked about here. I'll get the book done soon, I promise you. So easily, someone could be implanted with someone else's memories. And then that would not be true reincarnation. It would be a form of it. You know what I mean? It would be something. Wait a second here. Everything broke down. I gotta move my seat over or something, man. Is that what I gotta do? You don't allow to be looking at my shorty like that, man. I don't play that shit. With Don Tony Teflon, man. We're going to have words, man. Right? Move my chair over and shit. You make me scoot. I'm about to scoot. You got to scoot now. You made me had to do it. I wasn't going to do it. I was good. Where was that? Now I got to scoot over and shit. God damn it. You better leave my shorty alone, man. All right? All right? All right. You know, watch yourself, man. Watch yourself. Don't let this goddamn 70s style motherfucking polo fool you, goddammit. All right? Yeah, all thirsty, man. Yeah, people are thirsty. The Don ain't thirsty like that, not at all. I will say that. What can I say and make this sound in a certain way? I've done pretty well in my life when it's come to that situation of the ladies. I've done, I would say, more than pretty well. I've done pretty good for myself. I've nothing. I have no regrets. Let's put it like that. I have no regrets at all. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it be what it be when you're dealing with the Don, and that's what it is. But again, for all you people out here, and the supernatural, and you believed in the supernatural, and you've been taken by it. And listen, Doug Hugh came on here last time I streamed. He made some very valid points, and I commend him for even having the balls to come up here and face the Don. You know what I mean? And I will say he made valid points. There were a lot of points that he said that made a lot of sense. A lot of sense. In the end, I think that Doug and anyone else who agrees with him.
Oh, I say it again. You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. This is what he does.
It's what he does. This is what he does. And this is what they do. And this is what I'm trying to tell you what's going on. You know what I mean? This is what I'm trying to tell you. Trust me when I say it. In the end, this is the way it's going to be. In the end. You know, now and I understand why y'all would think it would be something else. But in the end, I just don't think it's going to be that way. That being said, let's take a look at something together here. Let's take a look at something. Let's go through it. Booyakaya. Where is this? Where is it? Is there more? It's not there. Where is it? It's not there. Why is it not there? Why is it not here? I do not get it. It should be up here. Let me see. Why is it not allowing me to share these things? Let me shut down some stuff. Why is it not allowing me to share? I could probably do it this way. I've never done this way before. Can I just stop it a minute? All right. Let's go through this. I've never shared this way, but we can. Let's go through it. So let's look at it in both aspects. All right. We're gonna look at it in you guys' aspect right now that this is supernatural. All right. And I want you to explain to me what's going on here if this is supernatural. Now, previously, we've seen Tabitha digging a hole. All right. That's how this leads up to this right here. She said she's gonna go upstairs real quick and grab something. And then this is how this starts, right? We see her outside here, and we hear the horn in the background. It looks like a bright blue day. She's in different clothing than what she's normally in. Right? Different clothing. Bright blue day. She continues, and the horn bleeds from that outside into her walking back. And as it bleeds, she looks back as if the sound is coming from behind her. Right?
Ethan!
Stops right here. On the steps, we see Norman and the other little finger puppet, a card here. And what is that? An egg right next to it?
I told you to pick up the toys.
Now, she's screaming, Ethan, I told you to pick up the toy. So all this stuff here supposedly is supposed to be her. Would she really think that Ethan at this particular time is somewhere above her in this place that she's never been, saying to pick up the toys? Is that what we're saying here? She knocks over the bottle. This is one. This must be like an OV split bottle, because them OV split bottles. Maybe y'all too young. You don't know nothing about no goddamn OV split. Maybe you don't know about that shit. All right, maybe you don't know about it. But if you did, then you would understand them damn OV split bottles is tough as a motherfucker. Them shits didn't break. All right. Right. You know, it must be an OV split bottle. This shit hit 20 concrete steps. 20 concrete steps and did not break. He said, Mel said, we ain't have that in Brooklyn. Now, y'all had Midnight Dragon in Brooklyn. I know what you had in Brooklyn because I drank the Midnight Dragon while I was in Gates Ave chilling with my peoples out there in Brooklyn. Yeah, I had the Midnight Dragon. The OV Splits was upstate New York type shit. Y'all was drinking Midnight Dragon down in Brooklyn. I know what you was drinking because I was drinking along with you. All right, let's go.
Can somebody grab that, please? Jim?
All right. She's telling someone to grab that, please. Somebody grab that. And then she hears the phone ring. Right? And then she says, Jim. When the phone rings.
Grab the kids, there's something wrong.
We hear the baby. We can assume this is baby Thomas crying. Why would he be crying? He's supposed to be just getting his diaper changed. You know, kids may cry when they get the diaper changed. Most kids don't. Or maybe something like that is going on there. Who knows?
Jim, answer me! Jim?
She looks up. And we see Jim. Now, it seemed like the man in yellow was hanging upside down too, just like this. All right? That's what it seems like. All right? I mean, basically he was. His teeth look a little funky here. And if anyone's going to say the man in yellow is going to turn into Jim, I think this would be what you would refer to saying that this is most likely the case. And I'm not one who's going to tell you that that's not true and why you would think that. But we also see that Jim has a flashlight on his left hand on his wrist hanging down. Why a flashlight? They could have gave him a Zippo. Maybe like they could have gave him a torch like Boyd is carrying. They put a flashlight on his wrist. Why they put a flashlight on his wrist right there? Right? And you see the flashlight right here. Again. Then she wakes up. All right. Now, what I want to do before I give you my explanation of that is I want to know, to all the supernatural people, what is the supernatural stuff about? Are you saying it's supernatural that she just had a dream? And that's supernatural? I'm saying that's what this is supernatural. Is it that she had a dream? I dream every day. Am I supernatural every day? I dream every night. I have great dreams. I have great dreams. Sometimes I haven't had a nightmare. I'm gonna jinx myself. I haven't nightmare in a long time. Great dreams. But I'm saying, what's the supernatural part about that? That she had a dream? I want to know. I want to know. Tell me. I want to know. Don't make me pull my Joe out on you. Let me start singing like Joe. I'll start doing it. I'll pull a Joe on you. I'll do it right now for you if you want me to. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. Let me know. Let's go. We got trauma, grief, illusions. That's not supernatural. The repressed mind. That's not supernatural. It said, Pixie RT, my child was strong. She would lift him and wiggle around and hold the legs with one hand. And when I cleaned her, and she'd grow up. Yes, children are strong like that. I'm asking you right now, what's supernatural? Tell me. I'm thinking the show is an experiment or supernatural trap where people are being tested. I'm not, and I think that you are on a good track right there. It's good, passively that could be. Now, lift up. I just put something in there about it. You asked, I put it. We put what in where? That sounds suspect, brother. I'm asking you right now, what was the supernatural part about that whole situation? Because I don't see it. And maybe I'm missing it. And I'm asking you all to tell me, help me out. Please show me the supernatural part about that whole situation, because I didn't see it, and maybe I missed them. Maybe I'm stupid or something, or maybe I'm just misreading it. I didn't see it. All right, now, since I didn't see, I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you what I seen. No, we're not going to go that route. All right, let me show you what I seen from this thing. When I come at it from a different avenue. All right. So now I do not choose to ignore your comments incognito. You can call up anytime you want. I'll put the link in the goddamn description. You ain't gotta call me because there was a problem with Doug, right? In the phone. 1 second. There you go. Here's the link right here. If anyone feels like I'm ignoring them or I'm missing your comments, there's a link. You can come right on. You ain't gotta show yourself. You can do it on your phone. God damn it! All right. I'm about this life. Now let me show you what I see here when I watch this clip. Let me show you. Tabitha is walking up. We see her standing outside in a different outfit. To me, this is a parallel universe. She is in a parallel universe, and she is seeing different parallel universes as she's dreaming here. And she is seeing at a different parallel universe. Now, let's think about it as a parallel universe for a second, right? She's standing outside. We clearly see it's a different town. The town does not look like the regular from town that she's in. They flash by it real quick, but you can see that the post office where Boyd is at and everything is clean. It's not like that in the regular town that we're in there at all. But we see it here that it is. She's walking up the steps of this place. Again, they flash to this town that looks like a different town than she's actually in. They're showing you in her two different outfits. Why wouldn't they just have her in the same exact outfit? Because they're trying to say it's two different Tabithas, right? Let's keep going. You hear the sound bleed over. She heads up the steps. She's going up the steps, and then Ethan's toys are here on the floor of these steps. And she starts speaking to Ethan. Is she crazy? Is she losing her mind? Why would she think that Ethan is in there unless she's not seeing the place that she's actually in? She's actually seeing a house where Ethan is actually at. And that's what's going on with it. And that's why she thinks he left his stuff on the floor in the house, not in the lighthouse, in the actual house that she's at.
I told you to pick up the toys.
And that's why she's speaking, because Ethan is inside of that house. He's in there. And that's why she's speaking to him. She continues up, and as she continues up, she knocks over a bottle.
Can somebody grab that, please?
And she says, can somebody grab that, please? Meaning that she believes at this time there are multiple people in the house for someone to grab what she knocked over. Right now, we see her in this place by herself. Why would she think there's multiple people in here that's going to pick it up? Is she crazy? Is she just going crazy? No, because she believes, she sees what she sees is not what we're showing. They're not showing it to us. They're not showing it. They're showing us what they want us to see, alternate Tabitha going up the lighthouse. But the Tabitha we hear her speaking, she's seeing something completely different. She's seeing a house and the steps that she's going up. When she hears a phone, you can look right here. There ain't no damn phone there at all. But she looks towards the phone. She looks to where the phone should be. She's looking out. You've seen her head turn specifically when she heard the phone. Because in the house that she's really at, that's where the phone would be.
Jim?
And then when they flip from that and they flip the baby and you hear the baby crying, they flip to this scene again of a different Tabitha wearing different clothing in a different town that looks like the same town, but it's not. It's a much more pristine version of this town.
Drop the kids, there's something wrong.
And she says, stop it. There's something wrong going on here right now.
Jim, answer me!
And she's like, Jim, answer me. So she believes that Jim is here. Jim is there. Why aren't you asking me? He's in the house. She knows he's in the house, but we don't see Jim around. She's like, answer me. She knows he's in the house. And then we see Jim here laid up, right? She closes her eyes right before she sees this. She opens her eyes. Jim's got things. The horn goes off, and the light falls off. The flashlight that he had in his hand falls to the side, and then a crash happens at that particular time. So what happened to this Tabitha that was in this whole situation is that version of Tabitha that's inside of that truck died. Jim died. The kids died. They died in that accident, in that alternate universe. She says in the show, did we survive the accident? This accident that they're showing, this version of the family didn't survive. They died. That's why Jim has the flashlight. And you see the flashlight fall off of the accident. And what happens in a dream when you die? Right before you die and you're dreaming. What happens every time? No matter who you are, you wake the fuck up. You wake up right before you die. You never see yourself die if you're falling off a building. You don't see yourself hit the ground and splat. You wake up. And that's what she did. Because that version of Tabitha and the family died. That's what's going on, in my opinion. In my opinion. And if I'm wrong, please prove me wrong. Show me. Tell me what I missed. How I interpreted it wrong. When they got in town and Jim prepared a wall, and he said, write all of the questions on this wall that we can solve. What Tabitha wrote was, did we survive the accident? That was her first thoughts. They died in the accident. And they did. In that version of them, they did die. That version that she was witnessing right then, that she seen, that version died. He died in the accident. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so, though. I see that the Don Tony Teflon. I said that crash didn't. Alex says that crash didn't look fatal. I would say easily like this: Dale Earnhardt's crash didn't look fatal. That's probably the most known car accident that everyone would know about. Dale Earnhardt, if you watch that, when he was on the Daytona 500, watching Junior go by him, and he crashed into the wall. I've seen cars flip over 15 times and people walk away. Dale Earnhardt hit. He didn't walk away. Didn't look like it was that bad. But he died. Parallel universes beginning to intersect. You're 100% correct. That's what I believe. is going on there. Incognito says the creator of the show said that it's not a dream of purgatory. Who said that it was? No one said it was purgatory or a dream. No one said that at all. So I don't understand what that comment means. They were flipped a couple of times. Could have been fatal for some. Easily, you don't know who had on the seatbelt. You don't know whose neck gets broken. You have no idea what happens to anybody whose head smashes off the top. You die in accidents all the time. It doesn't have to look fatal in order for it to be fatal. So you're saying they're all dead? No, I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, and maybe and since the purgatory comment came up, maybe what I'm saying is that she witnessed a parallel version of herself and her family die. She's seen that in the dream of a parallel universe of herself and them die. Not that she died. Listen, Percy says Ethan died in the accident. Maybe they all didn't die. Maybe Ethan died in that accident. Maybe it was just him that died in that accident. I'm not sure exactly how many people died, but that was a fatal accident in the parallel universe of exactly what happened, and they survived it. Ethan could have died instead of that stick going through his leg could have went through his forehead. But that's what I'm seeing when I see that. So no, they're not dead and living in purgatory. But in that whole situation, in that parallel universe, someone died in that RV that didn't survive the one that the universe we're watching. They changed their clothes in there for a reason. There's a reason why she's wearing two different outfits. They could have easily had her just wearing the outfit, but they didn't do it. Percy says, Tony, isn't that supernatural, though, seeing into parallel universe? Every parallel universe thing that I've ever seen, in my opinion, that I've seen is always science fiction based. It's always got something to do with science. But if you want to say it's supernatural, then so be it. I'm not going to argue that point. What I'm telling you is that this is a parallel universe, and she's in the parallel universe that happened, and that's what story walking is. When Julie is story walking, she is going into a parallel universe, seeing stuff, right? What did Ethan say about story walking? I'm asking y'all in the chat. What did he say? What did he say about it? What was his words when Julie said, I can save baby Thomas. I can save it, right? What did Ethan say? Because Doug wanted to say that all we need to do is listen to Ethan, right? And Ethan says the whole story. So we're going to listen to Ethan right now. And I'm saying that, what did he say? And he said exactly. You can't change the story. Why can't she change the story? Because if she changes, she's changing it in the parallel universe, not in her universe. So the story wouldn't change. It would change for that universe, but it's not going to change for this universe. Right? And then we can hear Ethan. Ethan, we go back. We go back and talk a little bit about Ethan. Real quick. Let's see what Ethan says about this whole situation.
What?
Like a hero's class? Like Norman had to go onto the Lake of Tears? We probably have to save somebody if we want to go home. That's what Norman had to do.
Yeah, you might be onto something there.
Sometimes I pretend that's where Thomas went.
Let's go through what did he say?
tears? We probably have to save somebody if we want to go home.
What do you say?
What?
Like a heroes class? Like Norman had to go onto the Lake of Tears? We probably have to save somebody if we want to go home. That's what Norman had to do.
Yeah, you might be onto something there.
Sometimes I pretend that's where Thomas went.
What'd you say? You might be on to something there. You might be on to something there. That's just not a normal line that you would just say, right?
What?
Like a heroes class? Like Norman had to go onto the Lake of Tears? We probably have to save somebody if we want to go home. That's what Norman had to do.
Yeah, you might be onto something there.
Might be on to something there. Probably have to save somebody. Who'd you talk about in this whole thing?
Sometimes I pretend that's where Thomas went.
Thomas.
Like a heroes class? Like Norman had to go onto the Lake of Tears? We probably have to save somebody if we want to go home. That's what Norman had to do.
Yeah, you might be onto something there.
Sometimes I pretend that's where Thomas went.
Sometimes I pretend that's what Thomas. Thomas is the name that's mentioned. Thomas is the one who passed away. Julie says specifically, I can go back, I can save Thomas. And then we go through everything that we look at. And we look at alternate dimensions. If we look at it in that aspect, in that alternate dimension, Thomas might have lived. Thomas could be alive. And maybe they have to save Thomas in that alternate dimension in order to save themselves in this dimension. Who else do they got to save? He's not interested in saving anybody else. He's saying Thomas is on a quest trying to save someone. Who they got to save? What happened in that alternate dimension? If there's an alternate dimension. Maybe that's not the case. That's what it is. I said the Crime Monocle is basically Ethan reading a story with a hero's journey, and he is able to see the key 12 steps. Or we all know the hero's journey and everything else. We definitely know that. In my opinion, Thomas is not real, more of a figment of imagination to help Tabitha cope with some crazy. I would think he would have to be real because they bring him up too much. In another universe, Thomas lived and Ethan would have been the one who died. Makes a lot of sense that that's what happens there. I agree that could be it, Captain Shiver. Do you think that she saved Thomas, and because of the daughter that Jade and Tabitha created died? Do you think that she did save Thomas, and because of that, the daughter and Jade and Tabitha died? Quite possibly, that could be the case. All I'm saying is that I present what I have to present, and I don't want to keep presenting stuff how I feel. I really want to know how y'all feel. And I want to learn. So if you see it a different way, let me know, because I could be wrong about it. But the facts from what I'm seeing, this is what it's showing me. And maybe I'm off on this. And if I am, just tell me how I'm off and how the story fits together. Why would that be? Let's talk about Brick. Do you have a picture of Brick? I would love to talk about Brick. That was a crazy theory. I will talk about Brick. Question: the baby that Tabitha lost, could it have been there in Fromville? I don't believe that it's actual reincarnation. I believe that it is just transferring of memory, making people believe about it. Yeah. Brick. There are theories that Ethan is the man in yellow because they both wear yellow. You know, I couldn't tell you if he was or he wasn't. I couldn't say it. I mean, I know that a lot of times people put a little too much emphasis on the color of the clothing. I've seen a whole thing about different shows with this person wore this color and this was that, and in the end it turned not to be. But it may be. I can't tell you. I don't know. I don't think he's the man in yellow. I don't think that that's him. I think the man in yellow is either a scientist or someone who. What I think happened with the man in yellow. This is what I think is going on with the man in yellow, in my opinion. And Doug Hugh would know better. He's not allowed to say, and we wouldn't expect him to, and we wouldn't want him to because we want to learn this on our own. I think the man in yellow is a cleanup crew. I think that Donna had a job to keep everybody in line and keep the tests going the way they were. And she was not able to do so. And shit got out of control. And they sent in the man in yellow to regulate shit. And most likely, he going to take out Donna because she's the wink link. And when I see Donna going upstairs and she's talking to Boyd and she's saying she's scared. Oh, I'm scared, Boyd. And she never broke down before. I think she knows at that time that she fucked up and they're going to send the people in to kill her and then replace her. And that's why she's really scared. Not because of what's going on to the people, but personally what's going to happen to her. And I think that's why she's scared. And that's why all of a sudden she's scared and everything else. Again, when I had the conversation with Doug and I talked about Donna and everything, and I said even then, and I'll ask anybody in here, I can give you a storyline for every character that came through the show. But I cannot give you a storyline specific for Donna that she started. Because there is not one. There is no storyline for her. There's a storyline for anyone. Bata got a storyline. She only in a little bit. She got a storyline. Anyone, go through them all. I'll name all the storylines for you for every character. But there's no storyline for the character of Donna. None. Why is that? Why is she the only one that's not there? I would like to know. I mean, if you could tell me what the storyline was. The only time she got into anything was through Randall having a storyline. And in the end, Randall's theory was never tested. Because his theory was leave her outside. Let's see if the monsters attack her. And he didn't have a chance to test his theory because Bloyd blew it up. And I think that's intentional. Because I think if they did test it, he would have been right. And the monsters wouldn't have fucked with her. That's why he picked her. He just picked Donna out of a hat. He picked her and said, put her out there. Let's see what it is. And you didn't get a chance to see it. And the reason why you didn't get a chance to see it is because Randall is right, because she's working with these people. She's down with the whole thing. And that's what it is. And that's why they stopped the whole shit. And that's why they didn't go through with it in the end. I'm telling you, Donna's dirty. And that's it. And the man in yellow is there to kill Donna. And that's why she got scared. That's why she was like, oh my God, Boyd, I'm breaking down. I can't take it. How many people did Donna see die over the years? Hundreds of people die? She done seen it all. I know people who are cops. I know people who are in ambulance work, EMTs. I know people who are firemen and have seen grisly shit. And in the first couple of times you see it, it really affects you. But they're at the point that they've seen it so much, it ain't nothing to them anymore. They are so numb from it. Why isn't Donna numb? She done seen massacres happen before. She done seen people killed before. She seen people she cared about die in this place. You didn't see her get like that with Father Cotter. You didn't see her get like that with other people. Now all of a sudden she's afraid. Boy, take me upstairs. I can't take it. She knows that she fucked up by letting them get that far. And her life is on the line now because they're going to send in the street sweeper, the man in yellow, to wipe her ass out. That's what it is. Trust me. That's how it's going. Let me grab a drink. I'll be right back. I'll be right. Give me 1 second. I am here. I am back. I'm back. All right. What was I talking about? What am I talking about here? The man in yellow dragged the tent. I don't think so. I think it was Julie and possibly Randall. I think he may be able to go back, or someone helped her when she went back and helped him drag that tent. It wouldn't make sense to me, the man in yellow. I think the purpose of dragging the tent, from what we've seen and what they've said in the show, was by the tent being dragged, they didn't see that little village in there. So someone wanted to keep them away from that village because that's where they were at. Dragging the tent, dragged them past that village. That's why they didn't see it, over towards the lighthouse. So I would say that would be someone who dragged the tent. Now, if it was a spider who dragged, and that's where the giant spider comes in, then it makes sense to me. Because I don't see where the spiders make sense right now. Maybe it was a giant spider. I don't see where the spiders make sense now. But that would make sense that the spider's the one who dragged it. It was the trees. These trees aren't Ents. It's not Lord of the Rings. No Ents in there. It wasn't the trees. These trees aren't moving. You know, when Victor says, oh, the trees are moving and this and that, and he's writing them down, the trees ain't moving. They ain't moving. If you're measuring stuff from a different dimension, things be off a little bit. Parallel universe, everything is slightly changed. You know, when you see people in parallel universes and stuff, and you see sometimes in a parallel universe, their hair is different. They look a little different. Things are a little bit different from where it was before. Not exactly the same. It's not 100% the same. We have over 130 people rocking. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, man. I want to get at least 130 of y'all can hit the thumbs up. I would appreciate it and everything else. The Donna asked for a lot. I don't ask for a lot. You know what I mean? All I ask is for y'all to come and rock with me and spend some of your time with me and stuff. Let me check one second. I gotta see exactly what this where the main event in this fight starts. So I know. So it's around 10:30. All right, I got a half an hour before I have to bounce up out of here and stuff. You know what I mean? what if the tent was being dragged through realities? Well, we've seen that happen before with Boyd, and I believe Julie with the rope, because she was occupying the same spot in time. At the time, she was able to throw the rope and it dropped in both realities. Julie wasn't in the same reality with Boyd when he was inside there. She was in a different reality. But again, you go through it. I can look it up right now and find the exact scientific theory of it and what it's called, of a molecule that is in the exact same spot as the other molecule, and it can be positive and negative at the exact same time. All right, look up the theory and tell you exactly what that is and everything else. Right, but if she is in a different universe and she's able, that is the reason why the doors in the cabinets open and close, because at that time she's occupying two spaces. And again, they said it with Schrodinger's cat, right? Jay talked about that in there, right? And he said specifically that when the cat is in the box, you don't know if the cat is alive or dead as long as it's in the box. So if we look at the town as the box, and then what happened right after that? And then right after that, dead Tom, when he was alive, Tom said, well, why don't you get a radio frequency through? Because if you get the radio frequency through, what? He said that the people are going to know whether this cat is alive or dead. And as soon as they did that, that's when it went through. Now, again, radio waves can go through dimensions. Radio waves transmit all the way into space far along the way, right? Radio frequencies. What's going on? What's going on? That's Changa. It's my brother Changa right there. I think that's Changa. What's going on, bro? How you doing, man? I ain't seen you in a little while. Is that Changa? I think that's Changa. I think that's Changa. Yes, it is. Did you hear that T. Nick died? Des hit me up. Was it today or yesterday? And I think it was yesterday. She told me that Terry died and he passed away. She hit me up last week and told me that he was on hospice and he only had a little bit to live and stuff. And talking about how Kanye and Kalia and everything else and them were dealing with that and stuff. But yeah, rest in peace for my man Terry, my man T. Nick, man. Rest in peace, T. Nick, man. Too young to go. Yeah. Yeah, 51 years old. Gone. It's like that. And everything. But yeah, I'll get back to topic and stuff. But Chenga, he obviously y'all know he know me and he know the people I know and everything else and all that. Oh, let's go this. Incognito. It's funny. Incognito, you're being contradictory. I have given you the opportunity, Incognito, to call in, to join in. I gave a link to anyone who wants to jump on. Anyone. I'll put the link again. And state your claim. There it is again. And again, you can just put your phone on. You don't have to show yourself, and you can talk to your phone. That way it doesn't cost you anything. All right. I'll put the phone line up. I haven't put the phone line up, so I don't know if anything like that. What's the smoke? What do you mean the smoke? In here? There's no smoke in here. It's like it's I he said it's 4 a.m. here. I'm not calling now. I will give you that respect, my brother. I didn't know what time zone. And I don't want you to wake anybody in your fam. I respect that 100%. 100%. The particle theory is a paradox. So by nature, it's contradictory. It can't be a paradox if it's scientifically proven. So it's scientifically proven that two particles can exist simultaneously, negative and positive. That has been proven, and that has been done. There's tests that have done that already. So therefore, it's not a paradox. A paradox would be something that is, you know what I mean? A paradox. The phone line ain't working. I haven't put it up. All right, I have to stop sharing other stuff in order for me to put the phone line up. So I'll put it up for you right now. Give me 1 second. You don't need to be looking at me while I do this. So, nope. Uh-oh. Fuck. See, this is what happens, man. Fuck my background up now, man. What is this? Man, let's put this one up. All right, now we're back to normal, I think. And I'll put, man, listen, messing up. I'll put the thing up real quick while I put the phone line up for you. All right. No. All right. Let me put the phone line up for you right now. I can talk to you while it's all going on and everything. Well, I'll throw that up for you. Yeah, why I do all this? You know who I am. Never made me have to sign in before. Yeah. And it should look more like this. I think that's it. All right, phone line is up and running. Go ahead, call me up. Y'all know the phone number, right? I have to tell you the phone number and stuff. Do I have to put that up there for you to know it? The phone line is up and running. You should know it. If you don't know it, I can tell you it's 518-290-0848. Here we go.
From. I got time to get in.
You're rocking with the Don, Tony Teflon, KP. What's good, brother?
Good evening, everybody. I hope
KP just hung up on himself. Hung up on himself. Just like that. You see that? He got nervous and shit. KP got nervous and hung up on himself and shit. Or his woman hung up on him and said, and that's what it is. Someone's backstage. Wait a second. Let me see. I did hear something click. All right, let's bring him on. There you go. What's going on, man?
Oh, okay. I'm on. What's going on, Tony? How you doing today, bud?
I'm good. What's going on, man?
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, was the conversation is still on the magical, supernatural, or
the conversation is anything you want it to be.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm surprised ain't nobody bought this up yet, but especially you, because I thought you would have been the first person to bring it up.
Okay.
I think this is a new conversation. If you don't mind me sparking it up.
No, do your thing, brother.
Okay. Well, I think Boyd is supposedly maybe in the future or down the line is going to change into the man in yellow. That's my opinion. I'm sorry.
You
That's
think
my
that
opinion.
black man's turned to that white man?
Now, I'm not going to say he's going to turn into the white man, but he's following the same path as the man in yellow, keeping information away from people. The man in yellow wants to keep knowledge away from people. He doesn't want the truth to be told. They give you hints and clues even in season 1, even in season 1 and season 2, that Boyd is following down the path of the man in yellow. Not saying that he'll per se turn into, you know.
Yeah, he's not gonna. He ain't gonna. He's not Drewski, this motherfucker.
No, he's
right?
not gonna turn into Drewski.
Yeah.
But eventually, we'll see him follow in the same path as the man in yellow, and that's just my theory. They give too many clues on it. He's okay. So when, for example, when Elgin says, you know, no matter what, the truth is going to come out, and he says, I'm going to make sure it doesn't. Is that not that's what he said, right? Okay,
Yes,
so and that just finalized it for me that he's following down this same evil path as the man in yellow, just like how Doug came on your stream the other night and said that John Griffin based the man in yellow off this guy that was happy and on top of the world.
Yep.
And then the next year or maybe somewhere down the line, he just seemed like he was unhappy.
Well, no, he was fucked up. Like he said, like when he came on my my show and stuff, and I talked to him and stuff and everything, he was basically saying like the guy looked like he was on top of the world, the suit was clean, and next time he seen him, the suit was fucked up. And then that's when he was like, damn, what could have went wrong in this man's life so bad that it turned so quick? And when I listen to that story, it makes me think of a villain who wasn't always a villain, that he at one point was a good guy, or thought he was a good guy, and somehow got turned, right? So it makes me think of like a scientist who believes he's doing the right thing, but somehow gets corrupted by what was happening. And you can look at Pluribus. I don't know if you watch Pluribus, but if you look at it, well, you see all those scientists were what they believe were doing the right thing. But then they unleashed a scourge that fucked everything up, right? So I could see it falling on the lines of that when dealing with the man in yellow, that he thought he was doing something that was right. And maybe it's right for their universe, but not this universe. Because if you have something, if you're dealing with ultimate dimensions and different, maybe something in their universe is fucking up. Maybe it's the oxygen supply or the air or something, or they're running tests on these other people in this pocket dimension because they did it in their universe. They get caught and they go to jail. So we're gonna go back in time. We're gonna fuck with these people over here, and we're gonna run all the tests we need to do in order to get the results we're looking for. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, and just like you said, like I feel like when Boyd says he doesn't like what he's becoming, and then the camera shifts right into the man in yellow, you know, I don't think that's a coincidence. I think they're blatantly like putting it in our face, like, hey, Boyd is changing. He was a good guy. But now, I mean, but what truth was Elgin talking about? Because I mean, there's so much information that Boyd is keeping away from people.
I mean, only thing we could assume from it is what that boy beat the shit out of him with a hammer in his hand.
Right.
Or it's the Sarah situation. That Boyd wants to keep both of them under wraps. You know what I mean? He wants to keep that Sarah pulled your eyeball out.
What about the Fatima? How do you feel about that? The Fatima and Tilly situation and the Fatima and Smiley.
Elgin didn't see what happened down there. So he wouldn't know exactly what happened down there. You know what I mean? He didn't know about the birth. Only one know that's Boyd.
Okay, but now I got to rebut. So are we sure that Elgin doesn't know that Smiley was going to be reborn?
We have no evidence that proves that he knew that it was going to be Smiley.
He said though, it's a baby. It's just not your baby.
He did say it's a baby. He did say it's not your baby, but he didn't say it was Smiley.
He didn't say it was. I mean, okay, all right. I mean,
he may have been told that, hey, this is the baby Jesus that needs to be born, and once he's born, everyone can come back to life. Everyone can leave this place. He may have been gassed up that way, right? So I'm not sure whether what he knows exactly. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but he could have been from what we know, he was thinking that whatever happens here is going to allow us to all go home. So they could have just that goddamn kimono woman could have told them that this is the rebirth of Jesus. And as soon as Jesus is reborn, we will all leave this dimension. We don't know. Play hallelujah to the Lord. You don't know what happened. She could have said something like that to him and got him to
got him riled up to actually okay, I can dig it. I did that. Because honestly, I wasn't too sure if Elgin knew that, what he was doing was leading up to Smiley's, rebirth, or if he actually thought this was going to be a baby, but it just wasn't. Fatima was like, a sacrificial baby or something like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know what I mean? So I can't give you a definite answer, but it could have easily gone one of the other ways. And it doesn't seem like the character of Elgin has been very smart in this whole situation. The whole time. The first time Shorty tried to fucking drown you in your tub, and next time you taking orders from her. Like, once you try to drown me in the tub, I don't give a goddamn what you got to say after that.
No, facts, for sure. And I don't know if you remember about it. I meant to tell you this at the beginning. This is your 252 brother, baby Clay. I changed my YouTube name. Yeah, so
why you channel or something? Why you change your name?
Clay was like a gamer tag that I used to have, but I'm actually trying to get in the realm of doing what you guys do every day so gratefully, so I'm learning from the best like you and a couple of other people. So I decided just to change my name up to have more sense of actually what my channel is going to be about, So
that's what it is. Listen, somebody in there, if you get Pixie Mind TV, any other mod, please put the link to his channel in the description, and everybody go over there and support this man. He's
no. So you ain't got to do that. I didn't. I joined to talk from. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't ask me to do that. I did that on my own.
Hey, I appreciate it, but I came up to talk some bullshit with you. So hey, I appreciate it though.
I'm about it. We can talk it. You know what I mean? I'm about that life. You know what I mean? So we can definitely talk it and everything else. But Boyd becoming the new man in yellow.
I mean, okay, so not only that, the man has how many yellow button downs does Boyd actually have in the show? I mean, do they actually wash the same yellow shirt? He has multiple yellow shirts. I mean, so I just feel like they give signs, keeping information. The premise of the show, the premise of season 4, it literally says knowledge comes at a cost. Boyd is keeping knowledge away from residents. So I mean, Father Kachi said, you do this, Boyd, there's no going back. So I mean, they give you clues all the way.
But I'm saying he's doing the right thing, right? Because he's not giving you the knowledge, so you don't have to pay that course.
Pay that ultimate price, right? So it's like
he would be doing the right thing there, right then, right?
He could be. He could be, definitely.
All right, real quick, we got a new person here. It's Captain Shriver is in here with the American flag. What were you kissing right there? Was it cat or dog? What's going on right there? I can't hear you right now. You got to turn your microphone on. You must have you muted right now. We can't hear you. But no, I see you muted right now. I see it. Hit the button again. Now you're not muted. Can you hear him? I can't hear him. Can you hear him? Everything broke down. Can you hear him? I can't hear him either. I can't hear you, homie. All right, maybe he has to work something out here. We can't hear him. I
think it might be muted on his
Well,
headset.
he did hit the mute and unmute, so it's something else besides that. Probably what it is that his microphone may be coming out as his speaker or something, and he needs to switch those two things over, because that usually happens to me when these things be happening like that and everything. But we cannot hear you.
That's bad in the food now, so
we can't hear yet. But when we can't hear, he's dropped off. Maybe he'll come back, and everything else. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, I'm here for the smoke. I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm gonna agree with you. I think the show lays more on sci-fi than.
Don't agree with me. I don't want to be agreed with.
I mean, no, but see, I'm about to agree with you, but also disagree with you at the same time. I do think it's sci-fi. I do think majority of this show is but that's not to say that supernatural things can't happen in the midst of it being sci-fi. So I feel like, at the best of both worlds, the best of both worlds actually happen on the show. I mean, sci-fi and supernatural at the same time. We're witnessing it.
I mean, how so? What do you mean by that? I mean, I don't know if yes, you can have both. And we've seen it in the show as we talk about The Wizard of Oz is both, right? So it can be both, but I don't know if we run that way. Rose, okay, can we hear you? Got to unmute yourself, so make sure we can hear you.
Yes. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello. Good night.
Yeah, why am I single for 8 years of my life and Jason got a better chick than me? This is fucked up in this world, man.
You got good work ethics,
This world sucks. That's why. That's what's going on. All right, Rose, what do you have to say too?
I had put a comment, but you had missed it beforehand, so I figured I'd jump on and just ask. So we were talking about like the whole supernatural versus science, and I'm more or less on board with you on most of your theories, but I still think there's a supernatural aspect of the town because Ethan got hurt in the RV and then he healed really quickly, and then Fatima, she can't have any children because of her past life and what was done to her, and yet her ovaries somehow worked for this monster. So I think that there is some sort of supernatural element.
She also didn't have sex and was pregnant too, right?
I'm pretty sure her and Ellis was making that room rock.
Come on, Tony. Did you really just make that statement? They had a colony house. Come on.
No.
Yeah, they in colony house.
I'm saying this. When she got pregnant this time, she didn't get pregnant by sex. She just got pregnant straight up, right? Like somehow she was inserted with something at some point, and somehow she was as a miraculous conception of this baby. Now,
well, she didn't question it at first. She just was like, "Oh, I was under the impression I couldn't get pregnant," and this was after their marriage. So, I'm assuming that she got pregnant on a honeymoon.
If a chick get her tube tied and burnt off, and then all of a sudden she get pregnant, you're gonna question this fact, right? How the fuck am I pregnant?
No, but they didn't make it seem as though it was from a medical procedure. It made it seem as though something traumatic happened to her, and that as a result, she could not have these kids. So that's a sensitive subject that will get them flagged in, certain channels. So I understand why they didn't elaborate, but it made it seem as though she was harmed in some way in her past prior to coming to From. And as a result, she couldn't have kids. So her being pregnant was like a miracle to her, her and Ellis wasn't using no condoms all that time.
No, they ain't got no kind. They ain't got no toilet paper.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think they got a CVS or somewhere.
They ain't got no toilet paper there. I don't even know.
They got one bathroom and a 17-bedroom home. So it's
always questioning that too.
Yeah, so I understand what you're saying, and it would sound supernatural, and it would sound a miracle pregnancy. It would sound like the Virgin Mary, but we have to also understand what the showrunners actually said. They actually said that they wanted to show that the monsters were already, that they lived forever Fatima was pregnant before Smile Monster was killed, and they pivoted to the Smile Monster being in her belly. So then what if they pivoted to that? What was the point of them doing that then?
What was the point of them putting Smiley and Fatima?
What was the point? They made her pregnant before the Smile Monster was there. And then they used that to explain why she was pregnant, because they pivoted to that. So what would they have done? They made her pregnant before. What would they have done before if they didn't do the Smile Monster? What would have been her pregnancy been about? Is the question I'm asking.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I think that all was planned, because the same, if you look at the episode in season 2, the same night she found out she was pregnant, that was the same night Boyd transferred the worms over to Smiley, because she cries. I'm sorry. Was it okay? So Ellis gets stabbed, goes to the clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Smiley, they're in their argument because Boyd is like, oh my God, I can't transfer my blood because something is in me, is killing me, basically. And I don't know what it is. So Fatima says, you got to do this, blah, blah, blah. Boyd says, okay, I got an idea. Goes outside, gives the worms to Smiley, unalives Smiley. Comes back in, Fatima has a nervous breakdown, goes to talk to Marielle and tells Marielle that she is pregnant. Boom, that quick. But I think that
so she was pregnant before Smile Monster died.
She had to have some idea that something was going on.
Because Pixie Vine TV is saying that's not the case. It was the case. She was already feeling that she was pregnant before that monster died. She was already pregnant. Now, and maybe it was a miscue, but then the writers of the show said that they wanted to see something else go on. Now KP has jumped on the live stream now.
I think that she may have thought that she was pregnant, but the show writers changed it to Smiley once they saw how popular he was as a character. Like they might have made her pregnant beforehand and was going to do something else with the plot, and then once they saw how much we love Smiley, they like, oh, we got to find a way to bring him back. Hey,
KP, what's going on, my boy?
I
agree. Because
good evening, one and all. Good evening to everybody.
1 second, we're gonna bring Captain Shiver, see if his mic is working. Your mic working?
Yeah, it should be now. Yeah.
What's going on?
We can hear you. We can hear everybody.
Right.
All right. Let's keep it popping. Let's go through and whatever you discuss. Captain, we'll start with you real quick, KP. We'll get to you in a second. What you jumped on here? You wanted to say something to the Don Tony Teflon and the panel, or just me? Please say your claim. We're gonna not hold against you the Detroit Lions hat that you wear. We're not gonna hold.
Okay, yeah.
We're gonna
that's cool.
All right. We're gonna. I got no. I ain't gonna say I got love for the Lions, but I have no ill will towards the Lions. They're not in my division, so. If they would have got to the Super Bowl and won, I would not be mad that they did it. All right.
I love me the Detroit Lions, man. Jameer Gibbs is the best player in the NFL.
All right. He won my fantasy league for me, so I can't say nothing bad about that, man. What is going on, Captain Shay? What would you like to speak about?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, this show it has so many different angles to it. We're not quite sure. What it really is about. Like you were saying, the alternate reality possibility. I think that's a fantastic way of looking at it. I really want to kind of see it from like a spiritual thing, being a minister and all, but it's just really neat to think of the possibilities and the alternate realities, perhaps bumping into each other, or that kind of the situation. I think is really a cool, fascinating idea. And you were mentioning earlier something about the molecules that have a positive charge and a negative charge all at the same time, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed it, or I might not have heard you talk about it, but I got the name of those. A molecule that carries both a positive and a negative charge at the same time while being electrically neutral overall, is called a Zwitterian. The term comes from the German word Zwitter, meaning hybrid or hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite. Well, that was silly of me. Referring to the coexistence of opposing charges within the same molecular structure. That's pretty cool. I don't quite understand the entirety of that, but
I was just
were
getting
ya?
into that.
Wait, then KP, please take it away.
Yeah,
Go
go
into
ahead.
your. Go ahead, KP. Say your piece. You gotta unmute yourself and get into it.
Oh, listen. Yes, good evening to everybody. Good evening, everybody. I have lots of questions, but I am still baffled by Fatima's pregnancy. I'm baffled by it, and I'll tell you why I'm baffled by it. I'm baffled because she got pregnant right about the same time that Smiley died. So we don't know which one happened before the other, but I believe it was the same episode. Am I correct? Am I correct in that, Tony?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Great. So that creates a problem for me because it is either they planned that Smiley would die and that he would go inside of Fatima and she would give birth to him in this weird way, which is kind of weird. Or it didn't matter. It didn't matter who died. So long as a monster dies, something happens and somebody in the village becomes pregnant, and then they give birth to that monster. So my question is: Are all the monsters? Did all the monsters get into this world as baby monsters the same way that Smiley did?
Can't be.
What are your thoughts on that?
It can't. It can't be. I think that's the first time a monster had died. I think that's the first time a monster died, and that's why they were showing that. Let me give thank you for the super chat for the 5 gift memberships going out for. I appreciate that 100%. You know what I mean, and everything. So appreciate that, and thank you. That's first like super chat thing we have gotten all night long. So 100% I appreciate that. No, I think that they didn't know what they were doing with that when it all came down to it. You know what I mean? And are you on 2 different things, KP? No, you're on the one. All right.
Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you very much, because I agree with you. I don't think they know what they was doing at all.
Yeah, I thought they didn't know, and I think that they were going around with. I think they wanted to show that the monsters were immortal. They didn't know exactly how to show it, and they used Fatima's pregnancy as a way to show it. But I think they had a different plan for Fatima's pregnancy, and that's what I think. If we were able to figure out what would that other plan have been, you know what I mean? Again, if we look at alternate universes and alternate dimension situations, she may not have been able to get pregnant in this universe, but a different Fatima may have been able to get pregnant.
May have
right?
been able to, right?
That's a good point.
So when we look at things like that and the experiments and stuff that they're doing on people, it could have easily have been an experiment to see if they were able to transfer that over. When I look at it in that aspect, I can make determinations about anything. Again, the magic thing, to me, I don't like it because, or supernatural, because you wave a wand and that's what it is. And to me, that's an easy cop-out way to get over anything that you're doing. Fatima's pregnant. Why? Magic. That's why she's pregnant. It's magic. And that's it. You know what I mean? And to me, it could be a different situation. But if they were doing a test on the other Fatima in a different place, and then she was coexisting in the same parallel universe as
Magic
this
is a
person,
panacea for all illnesses and
they
problems.
infected her, and that's how she got pregnant with this whole situation, right? So that is the way.
I think her pregnancy was planned. I think Fatima was specifically brought into Fernville because not only could she not conceive, which plays a major part of the psychological warfare of the show, she could not only conceive, they brought her in, let her fall in love basically with the head of the town's safety. He brings resources, which is Boyd. Boyd is the head of everything, which we could tell. Like, so I think all of it was planned down to the T. Even like, I mean, the monsters was shocked. Like when they looked down at Smiley, like, hold on, this ain't supposed to happen. We never seen this before.
No, and they never seen it. They didn't know what the fuck to do. They walked away, but they all smiled around them when they did the second stage, right? But when they seen it, It was weird to them. It never. So we have to assume that never happened before because they had no idea what was going on at this particular time and everything else.
Man, like, I mean, her pregnancy, I think is,
yeah. You know, Tony, just sorry to interrupt. But I think that problem, the whole Fatima, Smiley dying, Fatima giving birth to him in this weird way. I think that if at the end of this series we don't like it, we end up not liking the ending. I think this is where we could point at where this nonsense started. Because if they really did not have a plan for why they are making this happen, and it's just like something that's never mentioned, never intimated at again ever, I'm going to be disappointed. On the other hand, if they try too hard to like pigeonhole it in, again, I will also hate it a whole lot. What do you think? Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. You know what I mean? We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna hope that they Boyd, I mean, the actor who plays Boyd, said he signed up for it because he asked, he did lost and he wanted to know the ending and he needed to know that before he signed up, and he okayed it before he did it, right? So the fact that he did that, I'm going to say that the ending is going to be solid and we're going to be able to go. But unfortunately, and I love having you all on, I got to bounce right now. The fight is about to start. Keith Thurman versus Fundera. I must watch it and everything else. I appreciate you all jumping on here, rocking with me for the time that you did. I will come back on and I will put the link back in the description and I would love to hear from y'all again.
Good evening. Everybody have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you, everybody who rock with me. Thank you, everybody who's here with the Don Tony Teflon. I will be back maybe tomorrow with Phil. I'll try to see what it is. If you like what I did,
sounds good, man.
That's what it is. If you like what I do, please thumbs up and spread this across the realm.